Hey folks, today we're here to talk about Nano Fish. Little fish for your aquariums. Hey YouTube, this is pecktec and Clone Beta. Hey, where did Clone Alpha go? I do not know that. Well, okay. Anyway, so Clone Alpha's disappeared, and I've got another clone here, seems always to help me out. So, thanks for joining us today, Clone Beta. How's that?
Oh, no problem.
Okay. Clone Beta. Or Sam. Okay, today's show might be a little bit confusing because I call it Nano Fish, but I'm talking about really small fish, the smallest fish that you can buy to put in an aquarium, but not necessarily a nano tank. I consider a nano tank to be 10 gallons or smaller. Some saltwater people even go as high as 55 gallons or smaller. And if you think about it, if you're recreating a natural environment, I mean, really, it takes a lot of aquarium to even come close. But for the purposes of this video, a nano tank I'm considering to be 10 gallons or smaller. So most of the tanks you see won't actually be nano tanks today. Like this 27 gallon is certainly not a nano tank for freshwater. And but the species that I'm going to put in are nano fish. Now nano fish, in contrast, is just a really small fish. I mean, I'm not talking about anything else. It's just a really small fish, usually under 3 inches or so. Okay folks, now let's take a look at some of my tanks and I'll show you what I've got for nano fish and talk about some of my favorites. Okay, well, let's start the tour with the beta. Now, I say the beta family because there's actually a lot of different kinds of betas, a lot of species, a lot of colors, a lot of fin types, and about 1 billion videos on the internet about these particular fish. So, although I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these guys, the beta are very typical nano fish and very popular. I'd say the next most popular fish would be the autocinklus. These are great fish for controlling algae. They do like to run in schools, so it is better to have at least 6 or more of them. But they are a great small fish that is a lot of fun. The dwarf puffer, or BB puffer, is a very fascinating fish. Very small. This thing is about the size of a dime. And they will aggressively control snail populations. They are very interesting little fish to watch. They can be aggressive. They can be especially aggressive towards their own species. But having one of these in a tank that has tons of snails is really interesting. A fish that has been well known in the aquarium hobby for a long time is the white cloud mountain minnow. Their natural habitat is gone, and now they only survive in aquariums. But they're a great example of a fish that, although it's very small, should be in a larger tank. Don't stick these in a 5-gallon. The Endler's livebearer is a very common fish these days, and the males are great, colorful, small additions. A new fish for me is the bumblebee catfish. This is a very tiny little catfish that seldom reaches longer than 3 inches. Now, I apologize for the shaky cell phone video, but this guy doesn't come out very often, so I had to catch him as soon as I saw him. Very cool little fish. On a side note, I discovered that listening to Phantom of the Opera while I cleaned the tank made everything really dramatic, although it's probably a little scary for the fish. So I've got this little collection of fish in the 27 gallon, and this is them all together trying to hide from me in the back of the aquarium. Now I actually have a few different types of fish here, and I'm just going to run through them real quick. On the left you'll see a celestial pearl danio, and on the right an emerald dwarf resbora. Now when I bought these, they were supposed to both be celestial danios, but they're very similar in shape and they're often accidentally shipped together. So I just happened to get a couple of different species, and I have read recently that you're not supposed to keep them together, but I didn't really have another place for them. So I'm just going to let them all sit in here. I'm not really trying to breed right now. Another cool little fish you'll see hanging out in the back there is the dwarf cory cat. Now, I've got this guy, and I don't know if you can see in front, there's another one that might be a salt and pepper, but this is definitely a dwarf cory cat, and they're just really, really tiny versions of the cory cats we've come to love, and they hang out well with the other fish. Now, these guys are brand new. I mean, I just got them a few days ago. They have not colored out. The common name is a rummy-nosed rasboro, and they're pretty weak right now. I'm hoping that they survive. I'm feeding them up some good food and hoping that they do really well. So I'll give an update on them later. An honorable mention should be the Coolie Loach, who's a bit longer than the 3-inch rule or whatever, but man, they're really cool, and having a bunch of them together is really interesting. And in the category of, I'm not a fish, but I'm still really cool and should be mentioned, the cherry red shrimp, as always. I love these guys. I try to breed as many as I can and always have them around. Another cool little shrimp is the mono shrimp, and I really enjoy having these guys in for some algae control. And they're really small and do well in small tanks. Well, that's all we have time for today, folks. Now, there are literally so many nano fish, we couldn't include them all in this video today, but I'll be including a link in the description so you can find out more if you want to. Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, we'll do that. And I wanted to let you know that I'll be gone next week. You will not see a video from me next week. I'm taking a little bit of a vacation. And it might be as much as 2 weeks. This is a great time to go back and watch some of my other videos if you've just discovered me. And don't forget that I keep my stuff in playlists. Now, I'm going to rework my playlist in the next couple of days so you can get to your favorite videos. But every aquarium video that I make is in the All Aquariums playlist, and I always have a link to that at the end of any video. So if you ever want to check out that playlist, be sure to do it. And we'll be back very soon. So until next week, look for little fish, follow your bliss, and keep a clean tank. Today we're here to talk about little fish. Little fish, let me in. Not by the hand, by chinny chin chin. Alright, so Clone Alpha's disappeared, but I have Clone Beta here to talk to me about
little fishes.
Help me discuss